All right, so here's your quiz 10. Quiz 10 study guide. There's 8 questions on it, and a lot of them are duplicate as far as the type of question is concerned. So I'll try to get one of each covered, and I'll work until the bell rings. So number 1 on your study guide says x squared plus 9x equals negative 18. And what we're doing is we are solving, we're finding the solutions to these quadratics. So when you see this type of problem, we are going to add 18 to each side. We get x squared plus 9x plus 18 is equal to 0. So now we're going to factor this trinomial. We're looking for factors that multiply to 18 and add to 9. So we're going to go x plus 3, x plus 6. And then the next step is to take each factor and set it equal to 0. So we make x plus 3 equal to 0 and x plus 6 equal to 0. And then you solve each equation. So we get an x equal to negative 3 and an x equal to negative 6. So those are your solutions to problem number 1. Number 2, same type of problem. X squared minus 9x plus 20 equals 0. Factor it, set each factor equal to 0. This is going to be x minus 5 times x minus 4. When you set each of these factors equal to 0, you're going to get an x equals 5 and an x equals 4. Number 3. 3 and 4 are very similar. Number 3, you got 2x squared plus 24x plus 70 equals 0. Now, this is where you got to see that all of your terms are even. They're all divisible by 2. So we can divide both sides of this equation by 2. And on the left-hand side, we get x squared plus 12x plus 35 equals 0. Now we can factor this trinomial. Factors of 35 that add up to 12, that's going to be 7 and 5. When you set each factor equal to 0, you're going to have the same result as you did in the first problem. If you make x plus 7 equal to 0 and x plus 5 equal to 0, your x's are going to be the opposites of those because you got to subtract 7 and x equals negative 7 and then subtract 5. So those are your 2 zeros. In problem number 4, we got 3x squared minus 20x plus 25 equal to 0. Now, there's nothing that every term is divisible by. So we've just got a factor. So we need a 3x and an x. And we need to draw a table. We clear out this quadrant and we go 3x and x. We're working with factors of 25. So you got 1 and 25 and 5 and 5. I'm going to try 5 and 5. So our 3x times our x is 3x squared. 5 times x is 5x. 3x times 5 is 15x. And 5 times 5 is 25. This middle term's got to be negative. So the 15x has to be negative, and the 5x has to be negative. Which means the factor, this 5 needs to be negative here, and so does the other one. So we got a 3x minus 5 times an x minus 5 equal to 0. Again, you're going to set both factors equal to 0. So 3x minus 5 equal to 0, and x minus 5 equal to 0. If you add 5 to each side of this equation, you're going to get an x equal to 5. And then this equation on the left is 2 steps. So add 5. 3x is equal to 5. And then divide both sides by 3. And your x equals 5/3. So here's one of your solutions, and here's the other one. Problem number 5. 2x squared equals 30. Now we've just got one variable to solve for. We don't have an x squared and an x. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. X squared equals 15. Find the square root of both sides. And your x is equal to positive or negative 3.87. Number 6 is very similar. 196x squared equals 144. If you divide both sides by 196, then x squared equals 144 and 196 are both perfect squares. So when you square root both sides, let's just do it in a calculator. You're going to get x equals 144 over 196 square root 0.86. So positive or negative 0.86. All right. In this case, you could also get positive or negative. The square root of 144 is 12. And the square root of 196 is 14. That could also be equal to positive or negative 6/7. All right. So 6/7 is the same as 0.86. So make sure you know either of those could be an option. It could be in fraction form or it can be in decimal form. And then problems 7 and 8, perfect squares. 7 is x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 25. This trinomial on the left is a perfect square, and it factors to x plus 4 squared equals 25. Your next step is to square root both sides. So when you square root the left side and you square root the right side, you get x plus 4 equals positive or negative 5. So now you have two equations to write. You write x plus 4 equals positive 5 and x plus 4 equals negative 5. Solve them both. So the equation on the left, x is equal to 1. Equation on the right, x is equal to negative 9. Those are your two zeros. And problem number 8 is another perfect square problem. You got x squared minus 10x plus 25 equals 49. The left side is a perfect square, but pay attention to the minus sign because this factors to x minus 5 squared equal to 49. You find the square root of both sides again. So you get x minus 5 equals positive or negative 7. And you write two equations. X minus 5 equals x minus 5 equals 7. And x minus 5 equals negative 7. And then solve both equations. So you add 5 to each side. You got an x equal to 12. And then add 5 to the right side. And x equals negative 2. So there's your two solutions. All right, those study guide questions, those are on Focus, but you won't need them. We've got them now in your notes, and I'm going to upload this video to Focus as well.